There was a third topic, but I forgot what it was. And we are live with another episode of BS Busters. And now, we get it. We get it. It's April Fool's. It's also Easter. You can take that with any way you want to.
Joke, ladies and gentlemen.
But that's neither here nor there. Announce yourselves. It doesn't matter who goes first this time.
Okay. This is Joy Eli Moonstar, the Gaming Mage. To see you on the BS Busters, and don't worry, there's no fooling around here.
And this is Biggie Don from Video Game Facts. I've already made 2 April Fool's related articles.
Yeah. I don't think either of your April Fool's Day articles actually top. Well, I don't think they top the April Fool's article where someone said Shigeru Miyamoto died at 65. I was like, man, that's not even funny.
Yeah.
That's not even funny because, I mean, basically,
that's just cold.
That's kind of like when they first announced that Satoru Iwata died. I was like, is this an April Fool's? Is someone make a joke?
The date.
Well, even if it wasn't a date, I thought, well, maybe someone was trolling because people like to troll Nintendo all the time. But anyway, but yeah, this is Mr. Red Fox here, and we're talking the general bullshit of the week. So I have a topic that I want to jump into with the bullshit of the week. What is the video game system that has the third highest install base in the industry right now? Well, actually, the second highest install base in the industry right now.
Let's see, in the whole world, out of all video game systems, that'll be the DS. That'll be the DS.
Okay, you took it too far. That's current. That still has games coming out for it right now.
Oh, okay.
DX.
That would be the 3DS.
Yes.
Oh.
So the 3DS is the second highest install base of any video game system right now. It beats the Xbox One. It's only behind the PS4, and I don't really trust Sony's install numbers. So
I was about to say, considering who usually Sully's numbers, yeah, I believe you on that one.
Yeah, I'm not exactly, oh my god, I trust them. I don't really trust. I don't trust Sony as far as I can throw them, and I'm strong. I'm not that strong. So with that being said, I mean, we have Square Enix, who refuses to port
Dragon Quest XI. Which, and here's the thing, okay? They refuse to port that game to the rest of the world. It's already been made. It's out in Japan. They refuse to port it.
What?
Yeah.
They are refusing the port, and I bet you that Sony because they got their hands in Square Enix still somehow.
I don't know. There's no evidence that I can produce that will prove it, but it is a little suspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even our contributor Alex believes that Sony's behind all of this.
We have some people in the chat. Hey everyone, J1TM. Hello, J1TM. Metal Mint says, I saw a pretty decent Pokemon Red and Blue for Switch April Fool's joke. That'd be, actually, if they did Pokemon Red and Blue for the Switch, that'd be cool, because those are like my 2 favorite. I mean, you're always going to remember your first, and those are 2 of my favorites. I heard they count Sony VR as PS4 units sold. They could, because in order for it to really work, you need to use a PS4 with it. So, I mean, I guess. Even though I'm pretty sure most of the people who bought a PSVR didn't get a PS4, they already had a PS4 and they just got the peripherals with it. But this is Sony. Sony likes to hide sales
inflate numbers.
Yeah, they inflate numbers and hide sales numbers, and well, if you look at it this way, no, I don't, 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. There's no way that you can spin it, turn it, flip it, slap it, tickle it, tantalize it, twist it. That's going to make 2 plus 2 not equal 4.
You gotta be a magician in order to pull that off. And even then, that's only so much.
What about 2 plus 2 equal fish?
Nope.
I mean, Denzel Crocker tried to make an explanation on why 2 plus 2 can equal to fish.
I'm just simply saying that
you have to be a magician in order to pull that off.
I'm just saying that the wonderful thing about numbers is that they always fit if the operation is done correctly. It's the beautiful thing about numbers. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4. 1 plus 1 will always equal 2. The square root of 9 will always be 3. It's just a beautiful thing.
And anything divided by 0 will always be undefined.
Exactly. Because you can't divide anything by 0. Because in order to division is
you're just gonna blow up the world.
Yep.
Division is essentially division and multiplication are essentially derivatives of addition and subtraction. And you cannot subtract 0 from anything because 0 has no value. It's 0. So how many times does 0 go into 9? It doesn't because it has no value, dummy.
Like I said, 0 is a bomb, basically.
And yet, here's the thing: 0 is one of the 2 digits that basically enabled the creation of the decimal system, which, or the system based on deca, which is a much more efficient system in order to do multiplications and classifications and measurements than anything else in the world. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's science. But that's neither here nor there. But my point is this: Square Enix is not bringing that game over, despite the fact that, I mean, and here's the irony behind it. Every single 3DS game that's been that's come to the 3DS from Square Enix had to be published by Nintendo, which means Square Enix wasn't publishing the shit anyway.
Nope. Not unless it's Final Fantasy.
If it was those Final Fantasy DS games, those were published by Nintendo. Those remakes, those Final Fantasy games, those Dragon Quest IX that was on the DS was published by Nintendo. Like, why is it that one of the biggest franchises that was coming to one of the biggest install base handhelds had to be published by Nintendo? That makes no sense. That's like you have a kid and your kid is going to college and some random stranger across the street is basically the one paying your kid's tuition and sending them care packages and picking them up from the airport and giving them a room to sit in. But they're no way blood related to that kid. That's not their kid.
Nope.
That's kind of
all over again.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the only way they know your kid is that your kid played with their kid when they were little kids in the 80s. Like their little kids, their little kid Mario and Wrecking Crew and Gyromite and Donkey Kong. Like your kid played with their kid, but aside from that, there hasn't really been a lot of hanging out, and somehow mysteriously they have to sit. I mean, that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Square Enix for you.
Weird as F.
Yeah. So anyone? I mean, I just thought your guys' thoughts on it. I mean, I don't.
All I have to say is that typical.
I'm just disappointed.
And to think that
people thought that Nintendo and Square's relationship was starting to get better.
Well, people thought Square Enix had started to learn their lesson.
Yeah.
The last game I bought from was Bravely Default, and I was actually hoping that if they see how that game was, that they at least start to come close to Nintendo.
Yeah, I bought both of those games. I bought Bravely Default and Bravely Default 2. And I didn't feel bad about buying those games because I liked them. But the last Dragon Quest game I bought was damn, what was that?
Not me.
No, the last Dragon Quest game I bought from Square Enix was Dragon Quest 9. Because they didn't bring 10 over. So.
Awkward silence.
Yeah. So, anyone else have anything they want to say?
Well, nothing involving to Dragon Quest 11, since that's already been, we've already discussed enough. But how much we're disappointed in.
I mean, how many times can you kick them in the nuts for being stupid?
Kind of hurts just watching them do this to themselves.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. I mean, because I remember when Squaresoft was one of the best games ever, and now it's just, I mean, one of the best. I remember when they used to be one of the best publishers on the Nintendo platform, and even not just Nintendo platform, but all the platforms in general. They were just really good, and now they're just like, whatever. Oh well.
Now for some other basic news that's not fooling around. A game called Fight of Gods is being teased to be coming to the Switch.
Hold on. Please tell me it's not doing, of all things, Anubis versus the Christ.
Yep. As well as
oh God.
Well, some Christian people are going to get mad. I mean, me personally, I think it's hilarious. If that's true, it'll be great. But because
I've seen videos of people playing that game, and it needs more polish.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's not even the fact that it has various mythological deities fighting each other. And before anyone says anything to me,
how people are reacting to it. That's for me.
Before anyone says anything to me, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in fairy tales, goblins, trolls, dragons, leprechauns, and that includes invisible people who live in the sky and dictate your life. I don't believe in that either. So, but I also saw this game. It's not very polished or anything. So, I mean, it's not very good. I think the selling point of this game is that it has gods fighting each other, and the outrage that it might create amongst people who are really religious, who are like, "I'm going to boycott this game. How dare you have my Lord and Savior get his ass kicked by Anubis?"
I'm laughing at the commentary that's given to it.
You know.
Then again, at least it's not.
I think it's going to be fun. If the game was a little bit more polished, it'd probably be fun. But I've seen game footage of it, and it's like, this game's kind of rough. This game looks like a slightly better browser game, like Java-based browser game from back in the day. or Flash, you know, like a Flash game. Someone's learning how to use Unity or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Puts it on Newgrounds.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's just me.
Also, some news that isn't quote unquote fooling around. The Nintendo Italy stirring up some Donkey Kong Country speculation with on their social media.
Oh.
I mean, that's not really surprising.
Good things come in threes. There's no 2 without 3, or never 2 without 3. Hinting at the third Donkey Kong Country game return from the retro side may be upon us soon. Which doesn't surprise me nonetheless, because I know retro is trying to make their own trilogy.
I mean, here's the way I feel about it. If Retro making their own Donkey Kong Country trilogy is cool and all, but I mean, like, their Donkey Kong games aren't as good as the Rare ones. They're good. They aren't like, it's not like, okay, we're gonna make our own trilogy and they're just garbage. They're like, Donkey Kong Country Returns is good. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is good, but if you compare them to the originals, they're not. They're not to the same level.
I was about to say, that's like trying to compare the Mount Olympus to Mount Everest, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of like this. Where I live, it's like they're starting to put some higher quality restaurants, right?
Right.
That are like chains of stuff that's in the city. But literally, the quality of service you get in the city versus what we have out here where I am is so different that it might be the same food and like the same chain restaurant, but the quality that you get in the service, it's like you can't compare the two. And that's basically how it is where I am. It's like, I mean, like Retro is the chain that moved out, you know, to a new area, and Rare is the original. Like the old school Rare, not that shit that exists right now that Microsoft bought. I mean, back in the day, Rare, back when they were firing on all cylinders, I mean, you couldn't top them. I mean, like, I'm gonna keep it real. Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2 are better than, well, no, the first Donkey Kong Country is on par with Super Mario World. Donkey Kong Country 2 is a much better game than Yoshi's Island to me, in terms of platforming and stuff like that. But, you know, it is what it is.
And other news. Nvidia CEO saying that cryptocurrency and blockchain technology will be here to stay despite recent asset price slumps.
Yeah. If people can get money just by doing whatever, mining little bits and pieces of currency that kind of gets lost in the cracks and condense that.
Cryptocurrency is here by someone else. They say.
Yeah, it's gonna be here. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, but there's a chance.
I'm having headaches already.
But you know that the internet can also be hacked, right?
Everything can be hacked. Everything that has devices and mechanisms in it and a system behind it can be hacked.
And it makes cryptocurrency more vulnerable than physical cash.
Probably, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If people want cryptocurrency to be here for a long time, it has to be regulated. But the thing is that a lot of the people who are using cryptocurrency don't want it to be regulated. So, because they're doing kind of illicit things with it. So
that's the most about it. People want it unregulated, but look what's regulated.
Metal Mint has a thing. This is kind of an old comment. Metal Mint said, Square, they were surprised that a traditional RPG like Bravely Default sold well, which is strange coming from basically an RPG factory. Yeah. It's like being at a pizzeria and the pizzeria is surprised that
pizza is doing well.
That pizza sold well, and it sold well. Like, I can't believe that this pizza's selling well. You're a pizzeria. That's what you do. Yeah, but I can't believe it. I didn't think the pizza would go well.
I can make a Restaurant Impossible joke here. That freaking point.
And going back to the Rare talk, their game Sea of Thieves has become the fastest selling new IP for the Xbox One.
You mean for the Xbox One? But I mean, that's such a low bar. You know what I mean? That bar is so low. That bar, that's not even a high bar. That's a bar. That's a broom that fell on the floor and you could jump over it. Like, that's not. Because almost every game that's hit the Xbox One has been shit, and it's sold poorly.
And one of my friends told me that it was also the most refunded.
Damn. Well, Sea of Thieves is kind of a
I cannot blame them.
Sea of Thieves is a very content light game. Like, okay, if you like playing a squad based game with your friends that's not a shooter or anything like that, where you actually have to cooperate, it's a fine game. But here's the thing: the way Rare and Microsoft like promoted this game and talked it up, like 60% of that content, it has not come yet. And it wasn't there at the start. So, like, unless you just like playing around with your friends for like, you know, an hour or two in the sea, running a boat, I mean, that's it. That's what you do in the game. There's nothing else in there to do. Yeah. Everyone takes up their positions and you're in a boat traveling the sea. And occasionally you'll get in fights with other pirate ships or a kraken or a sea monster or something. You'll land and search for treasure, but that's it. That's the game. I mean, there's nothing else to. I mean, basically, think of it like this. Think about how boring Splatoon would be if the only mode you had was
Turf War.
No, because you have multiple levels in Turf War. Think how boring Splatoon would be if all you had was the Salmon Run. Nothing else, just Salmon Run.
That honestly.
All that light content reminds me of another game that's supposed to be quote unquote one of the most influential game for the industry. You know, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Go ahead, say it, because I can't read your mind.
Destiny.
I think Destiny had a little bit better content than this game. Because I mean, okay, Destiny, you had the multiplayer runs, you had the single player runs, you had the little events. This game, you're literally just you and 3 of your friends get on a boat and it doesn't even have couch co-op, so you have to have an online connection. So like there has to be multiple copies, which they did that so that they could sell multiple copies, not because they couldn't do couch co-op, which is sad because Rare back in the day, almost all their games had couch co-op.
Right,
or 4-player multiplayer or whatever.
Now for yet another news that may or may not be April Fool's related. Splatoon 2 has already announced their next Japanese Splatfest on April 21st. And
That's cool.
And it's themed towards marine earth science versus technology.
So basically, actually, that's kind of weird because it should be marine earth science versus space science. So it's water versus space. Oh well.
Because the theme is wrong. What makes you
soccer versus baseball?
The theme is about which makes you feel the most wonder: unknown/undiscovered creatures versus advanced technology.
It still should be Like, I mean, if you moved that equivalent to America, it should be like NAFTA, which is no, not NAFTA. The National Oceanic Exploration Society, NOAA. Yeah, NOAA, the National Oceanic Exploration Society. Association, NOAA versus NASA, which is space exploration. That's what it should be, something like that. I don't understand the whole. And who's to say there aren't creatures, animals out in space? Who's to say?
Because people still believe that we're the only sentient beings living in this world, in this universe, and that aliens do not exist at all.
That is the arrogance of humanity.
Exactly.
But that's neither here nor there. Who wants to? Any other topics you want to go before we get on to the secondary topic?
Let's see. I already mentioned StarCraft's 20th anniversary yesterday, so I won't mention that again. Joel, do you have any other news that you might have find throughout the past week?
Anything. Jewel?
I'm here, and I actually was gonna wonder if we're ready to go for the main topic.
Okay, all right. Nothing you want to bring up? Okay. So here's my idea, if you will.
Throat cleared.
Yeah. Why is it? What games are there that are kind of like fusions between two different things that you kind of like? You're like, wow, this is really good.
In short, it's like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, but more like it's like you didn't think these two would go together. Like, I'll give an example. I'll give you two examples, so people can kind of get an idea of what I'm saying. One of my favorite games in the 6th gen that was just kind of like a weird, like I didn't see it coming, was this game called Steambot Chronicles. And it's a game from Irem, the people who made R-Type. But the game is essentially it's like GTA. It's set on this island, and you play this amnesiac guy who becomes a musician, or is a musician, who winds up basically driving around in these mechs called trapmobiles. They're either steam or gas powered, and like it's kind of like GTA, where you can like go and like pimp out your trapmobile, but then you can also go to a coliseum and fight. You can go around doing missions. You can buy money in the stock market and speculate and make money that way. There's a story mode with like different branches and stuff like that. There's even a hot coffee mod, except in this game it's called hot chocolate, where you can, as your main character, you can talk up some of the eligible ladies in the game to come to your apartment, which you can buy apartments in the game and live in, and persuade them to stay over for hot chocolate. And,
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's actually but here's the thing, it's like GTA San Andreas, but with trapmobiles, which are like mechs. With it's really it's a really fun little game. Another example would be Opuna. It's a Wii RPG that at first you're thinking just a straight up RPG, but it's also a little life simulator, because Opuna can get a job. He can enter dance contests and art contests and fishing contests and like all types of stuff. And it's like one of those games where it's like, my God, this game is surprisingly deep. Your guys give your thoughts on it, and I'll read some of these comments while we're going.
Let's see. An example I have in mind is Pokemon Conquest. because its gameplay plays almost like Fire Emblem without the permanent death.
It's actually a review on that.
But mixed with Pokemon and Japanese historical figures.
And Warlord figures.
Yeah.
That's not bad though. For me, it's kind of a harsh difficulty, and to conquer certain kingdoms with Pokemon that you got from regions.
Oh, how's it going, Triple M?
How's it going, Broham?
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, bro. How's it going, man?
Doing fine for now.
All right.
Just in time fusions.
It's good. It's good. I'm glad you're doing well. So right now, I'm gonna keep it real. I was gonna do some April Foolery, but I was like, you know what? I think people have had enough April Fools for the day. So we're just gonna jump into the podcast. So we were talking about games that were hybrids. That mysteriously the hybridization actually worked.
Like Marvel versus Capcom? No, should I say Street Fighter versus X-Men?
Well,
how about
two gameplay styles that mesh well together?
That you didn't think, like Puzzle Fighter. Street Fighter Puzzle Fighters, yeah.
Oh, you got me on 2 points there.
Yeah.
Or what about that game that they basically mixed Pokemon with
Yeah, I already mentioned that.
Oh, you already mentioned that? Okay.
That was a good game though, apparently.
So with me, so thanks to you, Fox, that makes me think of like that confused together in a sense and are pretty good if you do it right.
Yeah.
Which is Puzzle Fighter and oddly enough, Puzzle Quest.
Puzzle Quest, yeah.
Yeah, it works with match 3s and RPGs that allow you to do certain tricks and with pairs of 3 that you pair up together.
Yeah, I like Puzzle Quest. I like Puzzle Quest as well. I think the first one's better than the second one. But I have both of them. I bought them multiple times. Like I have Puzzle Quest on the DS, the 3DS.
I was going to say that I have
the Wii.
I have the first one
and the PC.
Dang.
Yeah, and I
was the RPG fan.
And I even have Galactrix, which is the one that's set in space with hexes instead of blocks that can come in from different directions of the map. People don't like that one, but I like it because it's in space. But you have any thoughts on it, Triple M?
Gee, that's a tough one. Like, I can't think of anything right now.
Okay, well, we'll take your time, and if something pops up, you can think like, well, actually, that's a weird crossover that I didn't think would work.
Oh, wait a minute. What about Project X Zone?
Yeah, a game, a strategy RPG based on a lot of them are fighting characters, a few RPG characters, a few that's a game where I didn't think that would work. Yeah.
To be honest, I was surprised something like that even worked.
Let's not forget at least one platformer game like Mega Man X.
Well, I mean, a lot of them. I think Arthur has been in every single Project Cross Zone game from the beginning, from the first one to the second one to the third one. And Ghouls and Ghosts is a hardcore platformer, and yet he's in a straight up RPG. I mean, well, not straight up RPG, a strategy RPG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice spinoff. It's like, damn, I didn't expect that. We have a few comments here. What about No Man's Sky, Weister 20? is Sea of Thieves the Microsoft's equivalent of that? Yeah, kind of. It really does feel like kind of like a No Man's Sky, except with multiplayer that actually works. And actually that makes a lot of sense. And then Metal Mint says Rune Factory combines a lot. Yeah, Rune Factory was a Harvest Moon game with RPG elements with really good presentation. I actually liked it. I have all three of them. I like all those games.
They almost did a third one, but it's up in the air right now.
No, there's three. There's three of them. Yeah, there's Rune Factory 1, 2, and 3, and then they did like a Rune Factory for the Wii and the PS2. I want to say, or maybe it was the PS3 that was like kind of like a one for the consoles. That it really didn't feel like Rune Factory. Like it had the same formula, but it's like they tried to give it some grand story, and they changed the gameplay and the format. It was kind of messed up, but I mean, I like the first 3 games because I mean they're just awesome. And maybe there's 4. Here, let me look it up.
I think there were 4.
I bought a lot of the Rune Factory games, and I'm pretty sure I have all of them, but I think there was Rune Factory. Here, let me look up the wiki. Wiki. Yeah, there's 4 of them. There's Rune Factory 2, Rune Factory 3, and Rune Factory 4. And then there's Rune Factory Frontier on the Wii. And then there's Rune Factory Tides of Destiny on the PS3 and the Wii.
Okay.
And there was going to be a Rune Factory 5, but Neverland Studios filed for bankruptcy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
The fate of that is still in the air since I'm not sure who has it right now.
Well, I think Rune Factory kind of goes back to because it's a Harvest Moon's type of it's under the Harvest Moon IP. I think it goes back to whoever holds the Harvest Moon stuff.
Yeah, I think that could be the case.
But I mean, I like Rune Factory because I mean, it was set in one contiguous universe. It kind of successfully combined a traditional dungeon crawler, beat 'em up, slash 'em up, hack 'em up with Harvest Moon elements. Like you had cows, you could milk them, you had chickens, you could pet them, and but it had some cool stuff. Like once your relationship with your monsters were high enough, you could basically have them go out there and water your crops and pick your crops and return them. And you could also like tame monsters and train them that you could ride on and fight with, or they could help you out in a fight. You know, it was a very interesting game. And it got better with each iteration. Like they added better weapons, they made the games a little bit more compact. They, you know, which I like. I like franchises that get better with each iteration instead of just destroying things just for the sake of, well, it's gotten stale. We need to change it. It's gotten stale, damn it.
Right.
Anything else?
No, I named 2. Red named a few already.
Let's see. Would Super Smash Bros. Count as
leaves
2 gameplay styles that we never thought would mix together?
No.
What you mean? As fighting mechanic and platforming?
Yeah.
Kind of started with melee.
Not really, because there's a lot of platformers that have fighting mechanics that it works. So that's not really like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It would be like something like if they had a 2D platformer that was also an RPG. Like instead of like back in the day when you had an RPG, it was like top down, and then you get in battles. If you had a 2D RPG where it's like you're on a 2D plane going from point A to point B, and then you have random battles, that'd be kind of. That'd be
point out that would be like Legend of Zelda.
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
I was a Zelda too, but that's not something close enough. But
yeah, when I say random like I don't mean like you go into an alternate screen where you're fighting enemies, kind of like Tales of Fantasia, the first one. I mean like where you're having like actual turn-based combat, kind of like Paper Mario, the 2D sections of Paper Mario.
Yeah, because they implemented Ryu, the Street Fighter input combos for Ryu when he was added into Smash.
Yeah, but I mean that was. I mean you can still use the traditional.
That's a homage.
Yeah, that was an homage. That wasn't like, oh my god, they changed it. Like when I say a blending of two genres where you don't think it would work, like ActRaiser, the first ActRaiser, where it was action adventure platforming game, but also a civilization sim. Or right now, I've been playing Ni no Kuni 2, which is a RPG, but it also has kingdom building and like some strategy with like you building armies and going out fighting other armies and stuff. So I mean that's kind of like, but I mean, you know, this is made by Level 5. Level 5 does that type of thing all the time. You know, like in Fantasy Life.
Yeah, has that quality touch.
Yeah, they always do that because in their first game, Dark Cloud, like yeah, it was a roguelike dungeon crawler, but you also had to do civilization things. You had to rebuild cities and factories and kingdoms and ports and stuff like that. I like it. I like that game. I really do. Pikmin is an adventure game with strategy elements. Pikmin is not really, no. Pikmin's a strategy game. It's just straight up a strategy game, except
an RTS.
Yeah,
instead of you controlling like, it's a strategy game. Instead of you controlling like one central area and then sending your units out, you go with them. That's the difference. You know, now if you want to talk about an adventure game that has strategy elements, Overlord. Overlord is an adventure game with strategy elements because basically it's almost like an RPG. You can equip weapons, you can level up your little characters, and you can send them out on tasks and solve little puzzles. But you can also cast magic and fight and stuff like that. And the Overlord is way tougher than Olimar with his little slap that he has. That is his slap attack.
I was about to say, really.
Yeah, because
Olimar get a damaging attack.
Olimar can only do commands and throw your Pikmins. He can't do anything else. So yeah,
I think in Pikmin 2, like he has kind of like a little like slap attack he can do, but it does so little damage that it's like literally, if you're playing Pikmin, your Pikmin are so much more versatile and useful than Olimar. It's not even funny. I mean, at least the Overlord has a mace or a sword or an axe that he can kind of just mix it up, and magic that he can throw at people. Like,
he doesn't even have I bet he doesn't need to use weapon, but even just hand-to-hand combat would be sufficient.
Olimar is just he's I mean, I like Olimar.
He's a level 1.
Useless, goddammit, he's useless.
I was about to say he's more useless than Mark.
Yeah, he's useless by himself. If he has Pikmin, he can mess some shit up. But by himself, he's just. I mean, they could at least give him a ray gun. If they make Pikmin 4, give Captain Olimar a ray gun, even if it just stuns an enemy for like 2 or 3 seconds. Give him something. I
thought the slaps he does was just to stun enemies.
Yeah, but you got to get so close to use the slap, and by the time you get so close, he's probably taking damage. Like I think if they added a mechanic in the game where Olimar maybe has his slap for up close combat and maybe a little ray gun that can stun enemies. Because then you could have puzzle things where you have to split your Pikmin into different groups. And like, okay, I need these red Pikmin to go over here and attack this or pick this up and move it over here to weight down this switch. While these other group of Pikmin are going to come with me and go over here. Or maybe I have 3 groups of Pikmin. I have to send them off to do 3 different things. And while they're doing that, I'm attacked. I need to be able to stay alive while...
Keep your tail safe and maybe get some reinforcements.
Keep this thing off my ass while they do what they need to do. I mean, that could be some really awesome puzzle elements that way. If Olimar wasn't quite as a glass cannon. You know?
There was some puzzle elements in Hey Pikmin.
Well, there are, but I'm just saying this could add new dimensions of puzzle elements. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like how in Overlord, because Overlord was very much like Pikmin when it first came out, and then the second game came out, and they added the ability for you to take over one of your minions. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you could play if they gave Olimar that type of ability, or whoever it is? Like, I can take over one Pikmin and become that Pikmin, so then you can solve different puzzles in different ways. You know what I mean? Like,
it could be like it could be like that, but who knows if the developers actually want that?
Yeah, it's Shigeru Miyamoto. He's gonna do whatever the hell he wants. You know, it's Shiggy, baby. He does whatever he wants.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other game that I can think of?
There's the Lego Incredibles.
Incredibles.
I mean, that's not a crossover. I'm just saying it's the Lego Incredibles. It's the first and second movie.
That's not even on my radar.
I don't know.
Yet to see.
I'm going to say something really, really bad that's going to make some people angry. I don't really like The Incredibles.
Oh, now you make me angry.
I know. People are like, how dare you? You claim you're a Fantastic Four fan.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
the movie's not
get mad at me. They're like, you're a Fantastic Four fan. You don't like The Incredibles. Yeah, like I would rather have a good Fantastic Four movie than The Incredibles. Like, because Pixar has so many wins under their belt. Like, you know.
That's kind of a brush off, but I'll take.
The poor Fantastic Four don't have any. They have no one good Fantastic Four movie, and they deserve it. And I'm tired of people saying, "Well, The Incredibles is a good Fantastic Four movie." Not really, because
I would say it.
That's only if you look way too deep into the film's message, like how people with superpowers are more special than people with.
Well, not really. If you look on the surface, it's about a super family and how they have to use their powers together in order to overcome, you know, in the first movie, overcome syndrome's bullshit. Which really, if anyone has to be the hero of that movie, it's Edna Mode, because she tells them, "Look, stop putting capes in your damn costumes, because they're just capes are just the worst. They get caught in things. They're just not good." and I'll be damned.
And Syndrome is the one that gets killed for it.
Yeah. He's brought down by having a cape. But yeah, like on the surface, it's about the super family and how they get together. But the Fantastic Four is they're a family, but they aren't related. Well, okay, Sue and Johnny, Sue Blaze and Johnny Blaze, Sue Storm and Johnny Storm are related, but I mean, you know, it's like despite the bullshit, they're still a family. Whereas the Incredibles is like they're a family. Like Mr. Incredible he's the dad. Stretchy girl, I forgot her name. Stretch girl.
You mean Elastigirl?
Yeah, Elastigirl. Elastigirl is his wife. They have 3 kids together. I mean, yeah, they're a family. Here's the thing.
It's hard to miss.
Yeah, it's like I don't care how angry their mom gets at them. They're still their kids. They're not gonna be like, "Fuck you." Whereas there are things that have almost broken the Fantastic Four apart. And they, you know, because they aren't related. And like, I think the relationship's deeper with people that aren't blood related than it is with, you know, family. But that's just my own personal opinion.
That's just your own personal opinion.
It's a good movie. It's just, you know, Metal Mint says maybe DJ Hero, a rhythm game where you use a turntable instead of a drum or guitar to play. I mean, you just answered, dude. It's a rhythm game where you use a turntable or a drum or guitar to play. That's still just a music game.
I was going to say that The Incredibles are own movie, and not comparing them to the Fantastic Four.
I just want one good Fantastic Four movie before I get too old to really enjoy it.
Really?
Can you do that for me?
You mean the first one wasn't an actual good one? Because I remember
which first one do you mean? The Roger Corman one? That was never
I remember
released?
that you
And we went
I remember that you hated on that. Then you had to double back on your transgression.
No, I didn't double back. I said the first one had the most heart, but it's not a good movie. And then the Tim Story one, that a lot of people hate is okay. The second one sucks. Look, they fucked up Galactus. I don't know what like there are three Marvel villains that you just cannot fuck up. Doctor Doom, which they fucked up. Galactus, which they fucked up. And who else? What's the third one?
The Silver Surfer?
The Silver Surfer's not a villain. Like really, in the second Fantastic Four movie, the Silver Surfer was actually done relatively well. They fucked up Galactus.
So the third villain would have to be another Fantastic Four villain would be. The only thing I can think of is the Skrulls.
Yeah, but the Skrulls are. I mean, it's really hard to mess up the Skrulls because most of them in Secret Invasion are disguised humans.
I thought they were copycats.
Well, I mean, the first time the Fantastic Four meet the Skrulls, they're wearing they're trying to invade the Earth, and like their technology is so far beyond what Earth has that Reed Richards tricks them into thinking that the Earth is inhabited by monsters by showing them sci-fi pictures, and they're like, yeah, totally, yeah. Earth is totally infested by these giant monsters, and they believe it because they're sci-fi. They're gullible like that, and because Reed Richards is an intellectual hero, which I like. He doesn't just solve everything by blowing shit up. Unlike some film. Everything from DC. But yeah, he's an intellectual hero who actually solves things by using his brain. I think he's like the second or third smartest person in the Marvel universe. And then the second time they fight the Skrulls, it's the Super Skrulls. And I forgot how they defeated them then. I remember they tricked the Skrulls into starting a fight with the Kree, because the Kree Empire and the Skrull Empire are like rivals against each other. And then the third time everyone fought the Skrulls, it was Secret Invasion, where they had all the Super Skrulls that were copycats of people. But yeah, it's eventually the Fantastic Four tricked Galactus into attacking the Skrulls' home planet, eating it, and yeah.
That has to be the rudest trick of all.
Well, here's the way I look at it. They tried to take over the Earth like 3 times, and they kidnapped Captain America, and they replaced people with doppelgangers that were Skrulls in disguise during the Secret Invasion. Like if you fuck with someone 3 times like that, after a certain point, the gloves have got to come off.
Like enough is enough.
Yeah. At a certain point, you just gotta be like, you know what, man, I'm tired of your shit. I'm tired. And here's the thing: it was just their home planet. They had invaded other planets. They could have gone other places, which they did, but it really hurt their galactic power base. So they couldn't go around invading people's shit anymore, which is great because fuck the Skrulls. They're not quite. It's like the Kree, but not quite as bad.
It's like you guys can't be happy on your own planet that you guys gotta take over ours. Get the hell out of here.
Well, they are an empire, and you know how empires work. In human history, empires everywhere they go, even if people are already living there, they have to take it over.
Have to evolve and take it over. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you live on an island. I'm pretty sure Europeans came there and took it. I'm pretty sure there were natives already there, and the Europeans came, and I declare this land the name of some random white lady on a throne.
And you can also argue that the Japanese did the same thing because they weren't the first. They weren't the first natives.
No, they weren't. The native people of Japan who are heavily ostracized. They live in the southern part of Japan because they were driven there, and they're basically kind of like the black people of Japan because they have kind of darker skin and their hair is kind of kinky. It's a shame how they discriminate against those people. And here's the thing: they don't even talk about how they discriminated against those people and tried to wipe them out. It's like an open secret. They won't even talk about it. It's fucked up. Japan is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and I've been hearing that Japan's trying to never speak about those kind of people at all.
Nope. Just like they don't talk about how they invaded Korea and China and kidnapped young women and turned them into forced prostitution for their soldiers. They're like, we won't talk about it. It's like the first step to healing is to admit that there was a problem. And it's not like you guys did it. Your ancestors did it. And look, if someone was old and did some fucked up shit, you can't ignore it. You know? You gotta be like, look, they fucked up. That was on them. We must move forward.
Yep.
I know it got kind of heavy there, folks. I'm sorry. Let's get back.
And we moved to movies and now back to gaming.
Yeah,
that's what happens around here, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no good Fantastic Four game, by the way. The best one, the best Fantastic Four video game is maybe Lego Marvel Heroes, which I bought that game on a Steam sale for like $5.
And I thought that was Marvel. And I thought that was which had Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four in it, I think.
Lego Marvel Heroes is also for the Wii U, and it's a really good game. It's, in my opinion, it's the best licensed Lego game aside from Lego Batman 2, DC Superheroes. It's really good. It's really fucking good. I love that game.
Cool. That
game is really good. If anyone ever has a chance to get it, I mean, any game that lets me play as Superman, and as soon as if you're playing as Superman, as soon as he starts flying, it start playing the Superman theme. I'm just like, look, you got me. You know. Mm-hmm. They play the classic Lego Superman music, which is I'm like, you bastards! You did it!
They know how to hit the heart.
I don't know that song is so iconic. It's like I was talking with someone.
You can't get it out of your head when you hear it.
I was talking with someone. I was like, John Williams basically created the soundtrack of our childhoods, and his music is so iconic that if you have a music, like if John Williams did the tune for a superhero, and you got someone else to do the tune instead of John Williams, it doesn't even sound right.
I beg to differ, but anyway.
It's like, I mean, think of it like this, okay? Star Wars without the John Williams tune just doesn't feel like Star Wars. Indiana Jones, if he didn't have his preamble, the Indiana Jones March, it just wouldn't.
Well, Rogue One and the upcoming Solo movie will not have.
I know it's you have someone like playing John Williams light. It's like, well, I can kind of do. No, you can't, dude. You're not. No, fuck off. Fuck off.
Well, I guess I'm just much.
And should there ever be a Star Wars Warriors theme game? Are they going to reuse John Williams' score from the movies, or are they going to remix it? Like
they should.
Warriors game, like how the Warriors game remixed all the Zelda songs and Fire Emblem songs.
They should use the original. Like if they make a Star Wars Warriors game, and like you're Luke Skywalker and you're fighting against Darth Vader, in the corridors of the in the underbelly of the Death Star, the second Death Star. I need to hear that music. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna sound right if it's some other bullshit.
Heck, it's not even just Luke Skywalker. If you play as a Jedi, heck, or even you play as some other character, but you still a Jedi Master walking around. Okay, put the theme song in there.
Look, give John Williams his money and put the damn song in there, okay?
License that thing.
If they make an Indiana Jones, if they make another Indiana Jones video game, no, I don't mean a movie, I mean video game. If they make another Indiana Jones video game, god damn it, I need to hear the Indiana Jones theme in there. Because it doesn't even feel like Indiana Jones if it doesn't have the Indiana Jones theme. It's like, you know, could you imagine someone's like, hey guys, we're making another Indiana Jones. Okay, that's cool. What's the theme song? And you don't hear, you know, dun 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 dun. You'd be like, this shit's not Indiana Jones. It'd be like if you watched James Bond and they didn't have the, you know, the James Bond thing.
Or at least some portion of it, and I'm okay with that.
If they don't have the James Bond theme, it just doesn't feel like it. Whose phone is ringing? Someone's got their phone on vibrate?
I already answered mine.
No, that's on my end.
Okay, okay. Well,
apologies for that.
No, it's okay. I thought it was someone else. I'm like, what the heck? Someone's being attacked by a vibrating phone, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but seriously though, there's only one game where it just doesn't, like, if it doesn't have the theme music or something kind of like it, I don't really care because the theme music has changed so much over the years. Batman games. Like he has like 3 or 4 different themes. Like, you want to go 60s, but that 60s theme is still pretty good. Yeah.
But the one I remember is more.
Yeah, the Danny Elfman one. Although if you want to really, you could always use that theme from Kiss from a Rose from Seal.
I mean, I don't know how that song's associated with Batman at all.
It isn't, but it was in. They did a music video where Seal. They had he actually did the music video on the set of Batman Forever. That's not a good movie, by the way. It's better than Batman and Robin, but it's still not a good movie.
What kind of music are you using for Batman now? That's what's worrying me.
Here's the thing. Most of the side music in the Batman movies has been pretty shitty. Like, even Prince's Bat Dance was kind of shitty.
That's
what?
Yeah, Bat Dance. Yeah. Look. Triple M knows what I'm talking about. Triple M knows about the Bat Dance. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I remember the soundtrack of Prince's Batman soundtrack.
Yeah, the reason he did the music for that movie was because he was trying to hook up with Kim Basinger, and I think he did hook up with Kim Basinger, but that's neither here nor there. The only music that kind of made sense in that movie, aside from the Danny Elfman preamble, that's like the Batman theme, was when the Joker busts into the Museum of Modern Art.
I think he did.
What? What, Triple M?
I think his mic's not working again.
Well, hopefully it'll work out. But no, I mean, that kind of did work out a little bit because it's so random, and the Joker is such a random villain that it kind of worked. You know, it's like, yeah, I could see the villain, I could see the Joker in the '80s listening to some shit like this while he's terrorizing people. Yeah, so why not?
Oh yeah, that's the randomness about it.
You know, or like he's gassing people with his laughing gas at the end of the movie with his giant balloons, and it's playing Who Do You Trust? I'm like, yeah, I can totally see the Joker wearing his zoot suit. I'm like, yeah, he's wearing his zoot suit. He's so badass with his zoot suit, and his joy buzzer. He's like, yeah, we can shake on it. Don't ever shake the Joker's hand. Never,
no.
Never shake his hand, because if he has that electric joy buzzer, that's your ass. Nothing, or his acid squirting flower, you know.
Smoking up your ears.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about the Joker. The Joker is, or at least my favorite iteration of the Joker. He has themed weapons that are so it's so no way. Like the Joker can have a gun with a punching glove on it and a spring, and it can actually kill someone with it. I'm like, that's insane.
The punch from that gun has to be over 100 miles per hour, and that's
Well, I mean, I've seen comics where he used a gun like that and like broke a dude's neck with it. Like hit him square in the face and just like pulled the trigger and the thing sprung out and it broke a guy's neck. And he's like, I guess he just couldn't handle it. And then runs off, you know, because it's the Joker and that's what he does.
That's the thing that scares me, because that weapon is able to kill, since it has a punch that's over the top speed of a.
Well, I mean, it's the Joker. He's a psychopathic killer. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Who also beats the shit out of his girlfriend, which isn't surprising because he's a psychopathic killer. But
and the girlfriend was probably liking it too.
Well, she did until she finally got out of there. She's like they finally wrote Harley Quinn out of that domestic violence relationship. Which is
says that those two are supposed to be together. They can have a big middle finger.
Yeah, I don't understand. The only people who think that Harley Quinn and Joker is this great romance are people who don't know shit about the characters.
Very delusional.
Yeah, they don't.
Back.
What?
There was some point that she went back. It's like a really on and off relationship.
I mean, at a certain point, there's kind of been them playing footsie, but I think currently Harley Quinn is living as a lesbian with Poison Ivy, which I'm like, hey, you know, look, at least Poison Ivy isn't beating your ass, so I mean, that's a step up. Way to go, girl.
Didn't the animated series had an episode on that?
The animated series had an episode of that, but they didn't. They had an episode, but it was like they talked about it, but it wasn't an animated series. It was a Justice League Unlimited, or maybe it was the original Justice League series where they're like, yeah, they're like Batman had his own little thing going on, but they never just said, yeah, they're totally lesbian. But yeah, in the comics, yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm done with the Joker. And here's the thing,
yeah.
Normally, I don't believe in the whole like a woman's like, I had one bad relationship and now I've sworn off men. But yeah, she was with the Joker, so I don't blame her because he's fucking crazy.
She was with the Joker. She done it with Robin.
Yeah, she raped Robin. She totally raped her. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about people about like Batman and Robin getting raped, but Batman got raped by Talia al Ghul.
It seems like that makes us human.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
I was like, we have flaws.
Yeah. That's how Damian Wayne got conceived. Is that she drugged Batman and raped him.
And there was a recent interview that Zack Snyder wanted to have Batman getting raped in prison.
Man, fuck Zack Snyder. I'm sorry. Fuck that guy. I mean, look.
You know what?
I feel sorry that his wife did. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on, Red. Even though, yes, after that, when you said that, but when I actually thought about it, that could actually happen. But now the question is, by who? And I'm going to leave that in the air.
It's gonna be Bane because he's got those muscles. He's got those roided up muscles. He's like, you have not suffered enough, Batman. Now that your back is broken, everything is loose. No. If only they used the 60s. If only they used the 60s Batman, because everyone wanted to have sex with him. They were all.
Heck yeah.
They were always tying him down and like gloating in his face. They just all wanted. Even the male villains were like, "Man, you're so pretty. I just want to. Come on, baby."
The Joker was like hung for him.
No, I mean, I always thought, why didn't they just do a 60s version where Batman was like, well, Robin, I'm going to go fight Catwoman. I can back you up, Batman. No, I don't need your help. I'll be by myself. He's like, well, Batman, I mean, I can totally back you up. I mean, we're the dynamic duo. No, I have to go alone. Old chum.
There's some things that your face palm with Batman.
And then like Robin's like, he doesn't know, but I hid a hidden bug into his utility belt. Okay, let me listen. Okay, the belt's hitting the floor, and it sounds like they're fighting. Oh my God, they're fighting!
Oh no!
Oh my God! I mean, it sounds like he's getting. It sounds like he's getting his licks in, though. I'm hearing a lot of smashing.
And creaking.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
I just always, because I mean, totally. Look, listen. I mean, Batman and Catwoman are totally getting married in the comics, and we all knew it. Look, Batman Brave and the Bold told the truth, where the Green Arrow and Batman are tied up, and Catwoman's talking shit to Batman, and Green Arrow's like,
get a room.
He's like, look, if you two are going to sit there, look, can we please get loose? He's like, wait a second. Wait, are you two flirting? Oh my God.
I love to say, the Birds of Prey sang it back.
I can't believe you got to do this right now.
I can't believe you two are flirting while we're caught in a death trap.
That was perfect. That
would be. I mean, you know, listen, and look. To be fair, like I know some people get mad about Talia al Ghul raping Batman, but I mean, is it that surprising that Bruce Wayne would have a fetish for not being in control and being dominated, considering he's always in control of all this other shit?
I like that line. Thank you very much.
Always that duality.
And let's keep it real. Catwoman already has the S&M outfit, leather, a whip. I mean, that's gonna be a kinky ass honeymoon, bro.
What? Thank you for mind a lot more than I think it needed.
I mean,
some wild moments.
Think about it. Batman's always wearing leather. He's got all these restraints and cuffs. Catwoman's wearing leather. She's got a whip and cuffs. And those claws she can use to bleed
and it's all about those masks too.
And on top of all of that, like both Batman and she are really, really, really flexible.
Limber.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine. I just hope that if Dick Grayson is around, he just doesn't try to sneak a bug into Batman's utility belt. Because he's gonna hear some vigorous fighting. They're going to be fighting for a long time.
His mind.
That fight's going to be tough.
Glorious.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. No, I just look. Anyone who knows, it's been a while since Triple M has been on one of my podcasts. But if you've been here before, you know me and Triple M do not see the eye to eye on Zack Snyder. And I feel sorry. Look, I'm sorry that the dude's daughter died. That's so sad, but I don't like it.
There's some things that are not meant for mental visionaries.
I mean, I don't like his movies. And every time I see this interview where he's like, Superman was broken, he sucks, I'm like, did you ever read a good Superman comic? Because there are good ones that tell really good stories. But we didn't get it on the silver screen.
I was about to say, there are good Superman. You better have time finding them.
What?
Go ahead, Jewel.
I said that there are good Superman media, but you'll have a time finding them, especially if you're looking in certain areas like movies.
No, there are good Superman stories. There's The Last Son of Krypton, which is a really good one. Ironically, it has nothing to do with Krypton and everything to do with Superman having to deal with the fact that he's the last of his kind. It documents when Superman meets Martian Manhunter and Lobo. So it would have been a great movie to adapt to the silver screen because you could have introduced those other two characters into the universe. You could have done The City in the Bottle, which basically talks about how Superman discovers he's not the last Kryptonian, that Brainiac took the city where his mom and his dad and some other Kryptonians lived and shrunk it and miniaturized it and put it into like this miniature dimensional space called Kandor, the Shrunken City. So his parents actually are still alive. I mean, there's all these wonderful stories you could have told, but no, we have to keep on revisiting Krypton exploding and Zod, Ursa, and Nan. Thanks a lot, jackass. I mean, I'm just saying, there's some really good stories. It's like, how many times do we have to see Bruce and Martha Wayne get shot? I mean, we get it. Yeah, you saw your parents die.
I wouldn't mind a small flashback. But please don't make it more than that.
My point is that it's kind of like with Spider. I mean, I'm so happy that Spider-Man: Homecoming, I didn't have to see Uncle Ben get shot. I mean, because we've seen it so many goddamn times. I don't need to see it again. Look, we get it. Your uncle died, and you could have stopped the dude that you think shot him. Okay, I get it. How many times we got to watch this shit? God damn it! Damn it! Stop.
We don't need more emotional.
With Spider-Man, I can agree.
Okay. And here's the thing: Spider-Man isn't even the most popular superhero. It's the number one is Batman, and then Superman, and then Spider-Man. It used to be Superman's Batman and Spider-Man. My point is that Batman
is always number 3.
Yeah. Well, it used to be Superman, and then Batman, and then Spider-Man. Well, actually, it used to be Superman, Batman, Captain America, and then as time went on, like in Spider-Man came out. Spider-Man's really fucking popular. But my point is that and Superman's been out since the 30s, okay? We know his fucking origin story. We don't need to see it again. People who don't even know who fucking Superman is know his origin story. We don't need to see it again. And now the Sci-Fi Channel's doing a fucking Krypton story. Hey man, you want to hear about Krypton before Superman was born? No.
Actually,
what about Brainiac?
I'm actually interested.
What about Brainiac, the supercomputer? Let me put it this way. Seeing a Krypton superhero show is like doing an origin story about anyone here know who Angelina Jolie is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Would anyone disagree that Angelina Jolie is a rather attractive lady?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't say that.
Well, okay. She's at least somewhat attractive, and plus she's fucking rich. Yeah, she's got like 8 kids, but hey, she's got money and she's rich and she's relatively attractive. Doing a Krypton origin story is the equivalent of doing a movie about John Voight, who's his father's balls. I don't want to hear about that.
This one's much more interesting than this person's balls.
It's like, yeah. Well, we're not going to talk. And then they introduced time travel because they still just couldn't do something specifically just about Krypton. They had to have Superman in it. And it's done by David Goyer, which means it's really fucked because, oh God, David Goyer does not have a good track record with superhero films.
Well, if I ever get let down, you'll be the first one to know.
Yeah, well, you know, everyone is entitled to their own, but I can't do it. I can't. Someone actually tried to make me watch Man of Steel again. I was like, hell no, son. Not this time. Not this time.
You might as well stay away from me.
Not this time. You're not going to do it this time. I was forced to watch that like twice. I said never again. I almost sounded like the Jews about the Holocaust. Never again. Never again.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there because we went off on a tangent. Anyone want to bring anything else up until before we wrap things up?
I got one though. It's gonna bring down the mood a little.
Go ahead.
Recently I know this is coming on the heels of hearing that EA actually managed to BS with their game. If anybody's been with some of the loot box bills that've been going on in Hawaii, the bills have been managed to be altered or defeated or held up and they haven't been able to rise back up again.
Here's
Why am I
what
not
I'm
surprised?
say. If people want to beat EA, which I'm sure people want to beat EA, here's my idea. Okay, boycott buying EA games for a year. Okay, for 1 year, do not buy EA games. Starting.
I was going to say this is because of the EA. Yes.
No, period. Just don't buy any. If EA, I don't care if it's an indie game published by EA. I don't care if it's a AAA game by EA. Don't buy EA games for a year. Don't buy Madden. Don't buy FIFA. Don't buy NBA Live. I don't think they do NBA Live anymore. Don't buy any. If EA publishes it or made it, do not buy it. If you already own that game, don't play it. Don't play loot boxes. Don't buy it. Don't play it. Don't give them your money for 1 year.
Yeah.
If you do that, I guarantee EA will get the message.
Heck yes. And any other company who's thinking of doing the same thing or who's done it the same way, either better or worse than EA, just stay away from the loot boxes.
No, period. Don't even buy the damn things. Don't play them. Don't give them your money. If you do that, I guarantee that if you do that, if you don't give EA your money, you don't give them a dime of your money, I guarantee that for 1 year, do not play their games, don't buy their games. For 1 year, I guarantee EA will get the fucking message. And here's the thing: don't make it seem like, oh, that's going to be a tough sell. There's so many fucking games to play that aren't done by EA. You want to play a multiplayer game with your friends? Go play Overwatch. Overwatch has loot boxes, but they're cosmetic, and a lot of them you can earn just from gameplay. I guarantee if you do that, I swear to God, EA will get the fucking message. I might do a Twitter boycott EA 1 year.
And I'm still boycotting Ubisoft ever since they back in 2014 when they made a statement that mature titles don't sell well in Nintendo systems.
Well, that's weird because you want to know something hilarious? Is
Bayonetta.
that yeah, there's Bayonetta, which sold over 1 million. I mean, yeah,
that's on a dead console.
For EA, for EA, they want shit to sell like 9-10 million.
It was back when they claimed that Watch Dogs was the last M-rated title to be ported onto the Wii U. Before moving on to just porting family-friendly games onto the Wii U.
You mean Ubisoft?
Yeah, Ubisoft.
But Watch Dogs was a shit port. And that game had already, that game's thunder was already lost because it was bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry. like here's the thing. There's a certain time to put game like here's why people are getting mad that developers aren't putting games on the Switch right now. Now is the time to put games on the Switch and to build franchises because it's hot right now. People are buying it. Now is the time to put those games out there so people are like, man, because there's still people who are like, I don't have anything to play. Like they bought Breath of the Wild, they maybe got Mario Odyssey, you know, they maybe have 2 or 3 games and they're like, okay, I want something else to play because they played through those games. They beat Breath of the Wild, they beat Mario Odyssey, they want to do something different. They want new stuff. Now's the time for third parties to be like, okay, we're putting this out, we're putting this out, we're putting this out. And some of them are dropping the ball, like fucking Square Enix, those motherfuckers.
Oh gosh, that's another thing. Which I don't know. You say you got 3 versions of it going on, being in development for quite a while, and it seems like they're close enough to go gold, but one of them, you keep it in Japan, and that's not even the Switch because it seems like from my understanding, they're saying they just begun with that. But the 3DS that is basically out, is Japan only.
Yeah, and they already made the game. All they have to do is translate it, and they're like, "No, we can't do that, man. We might get in trouble." I'm like, "Who's gonna beat your ass if you put this game out on the Switch? Is it Sony? Is Sony gonna whoop your ass if you?"
I'm like, are you guys going to do this again, like you guys did with Bravely Default and the second game? So you have to have Nintendo white knight that Dragon Quest game for the West. I'm starting to see it's a pattern with Square about this. So I'm like, yo, guys, it's not like you have to do so much or pay so much for translations. I digress.
I don't know.
Unless Square Enix, you're telling me, or you're telling us that you can't be bothered to do that because you do not have enough pocket money?
I think it's a combination of money and probably special deals they did with Sony. Because Square Enix doesn't have money like they used to. They really don't. I mean, with all these games flopping, Final Fantasy 15 flopped.
Yeah.
I mean, that game flopped. So.
And speaking of Final Fantasy,
I was say flop, more like crap.
Last week we had 2 weeks ago we had a user who was a huge fan of Noctis and Final Fantasy 15.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I tried to explain to her why both Noctis and Final Fantasy 15 wasn't that good of a game or character, respectively. Of course, then she asked me if I ever played that game, and I said no. And then she just copy and pasted Noctis' personality to me.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. I have I've played Final Fantasy 15, and I can tell you it's not that good.
Now, I will say like this: probably in comparison to older titles, yeah, you can say that. But from this person's perspective, maybe if the game is good on its own, I was like, okay, I can get that. But even though if it was good, but because it had the budget was so big, they still consider that it's a failure.
Well, okay. To your point, that's a fair point. Here's what I'll say. Final Fantasy 15 isn't Final Fantasy. It may have the name, but it's not Final Fantasy. It's an action-adventure hack and slasher with some light RPG elements.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's Kingdom Hearts combat system in a Final Fantasy world. But it's not really Final Fantasy. Like
and
the
also,
last Final Fantasy game that came out was Final Fantasy 12, and that's not even Final Fantasy. That's Final Fantasy Tactics in an RPG setting, straight up more closer.
Yeah, I was going to say this, and also I just realized this because this. So I watched the review that actually made me feel a lot better about saying this. 13 is pure RPG garbage because it's trying to be a movie and an RPG at the same time, and its battle mechanics are all over the place.
I wouldn't say its battle mechanics are all over the place. I would just say that Final Fantasy 13 is just really badly designed. Like the first game is just really badly designed. Because basically the people who made it were not the A team of, like, we were spoiled back in the day because basically you had the A team working on these games, right? You had the A and the B team working on it. The A team was Hironobu Sakaguchi's core team. The B team was what would later become Monolith Soft. You had the A and B team working hand in hand to make awesome RPGs during the 4th and 5th gen. And then they fired the A team guy because he made a movie that flopped. That there was no way that movie was not going to flop. And then they ran off the B team guys, which, you know, became Monolith Soft. And what you had left were the people who weren't really that good anyway, because they weren't the A or B team. You had the C team people.
Or they didn't even have enough time to learn from the B team, at least from the B team.
So I mean, basically, people should. Here's the irony, though. The guy who was in charge of making Final Fantasy 13-1, 13-2, 13-3, he's still fucking working at Square Enix. Whereas the guy who created Final Fantasy 1 all the way up to 10 got fired after one shitty movie. But the guy who made 3 shitty Final Fantasies that destroyed the series still working at Square Enix. Do you see
that does not compute.
You know, do you see the problem with Square Enix?
You know what? It makes it even worse when you compare the budget of the film and the three iterations of 13.
Yeah, because the 13 is really hard to play. I mean, like 13 just feels like, oh man, we don't know how to make a fucking RPG, so we're just gonna throw some shit together. Enjoy.
I forgot. Put the budget loss of 15 on the 3 iterations of 13, which is massive compared to just the film.
And Final Fantasy 13 didn't sell that well either. So I mean, Square Enix has been bleeding money. Like, people just don't know how much money they've been fucking bleeding. And I don't feel sorry for them, because that's what they get for, you know, they left Nintendo and then they went to Sony and they were like, yeah, we're gonna rule the world because we're with Sony. And the audience changed for the Sony fan base, and when it did, they left JRPGs behind. So
yeah.
I mean, that's what you get. You do dirty deeds, come back on your ass, motherfuckers. And y'all thought you were untouchable. Now your ass now your ass are slowly circling the drain of bankruptcy. That'll fix your asses doing that shady shit. And not only that, but your B team formed a studio, got bought up by Nintendo. Assholes.
Like the very same company that you guys tried to leave.
Yeah, that you guys steamrolled for the PS1, and they got your B team. And your A team, well, I mean, Hironobu Sakaguchi is with Miss Walker, but I mean, Miss Walker hasn't really done shit for a while now, but you know, it is what it is. But that's neither here nor there. I think we've gone far enough. Anyone have anything they want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Now, I got this one. Apparently, recently, our all-time PC savior, Gabe Newell, actually said nice thing about the Pokemon franchise. Like, let's see where he got. And I quote: "When you look at Magic of the Gathering, for us, there are a couple of certain interesting points along the way, like the sort of designers and people who are thinking about customers. Pokemon did this amazing job of doing, still probably the benchmark for saying, if you're trying to do a game, if you're trying to do a trading card game this well, if you're trying to do linear media, they really have done it better than anyone else. It is still the single most valuable entertainment franchise in history, more than the Super Bowl." It's like, okay, more than certainly any of Valve's products, more than Harry Potter. Pokemon is that, so that's why that's important. Like, okay, rather touched. Even though there's some things I wish Pokemon can do, but I digress. Now, it was kind of ironic coming from Gabe Newell himself, and basically saying that Game Freak has done better than Valve's. Yeah, Valve, because you haven't made a game of your own since
since Gwent, not Gwent. That card
Artifact.
game. Artifact. Yeah.
So, yeah, and even though it's a small gap, but still, that Game Freak is doing a lot more than you do.
They got to make a damn game. That's what they got to do. Bastards. Or if Gabe Newell wants Valve to make money, here's what they need to do. Okay. Make the Steam box, but don't make it like a Steam Link, but you can also download games to it. Give it a small hard drive, a Linux-based OS, and say, hey, it will also be an exclusive for the first year, Half-Life 3. If you want to play Half-Life 3, you'll have to either have the Steam OS or the Steam box. And that, look, Half-Life 3 would make tons of money. Or Portal 3. I mean, Valve can't go to 3. It can't do like, okay, Portal 1, Portal 2, Portal Trials.
What about VR?
Come on, Valve, you can count to 3.
Half-Life 2, Half-Life episode 2.1, Half-Life episode 2.2. Half-Life, the hunt for Freeman. That's not a Valve game. I'm sorry, I take that out. But they will not make Half-Life 1.5, Half-Life 1 remade in the latest version of the Source engine. What about Half-Life 3? Fuck you. Half-Life 2.5, Half-Life 2 remade in the latest version of the Source.
Team Fortress 2.
No Team Fortress 2. They just can't get to 3. I mean, and yet we've gotten every single console gen. We get at least 2 versions of Pokemon. I mean, every single handheld gen. The original Game Boy, we got 3. We got 6 Pokemon games because we had Red and Blue and Yellow,
Gold, Silver,
and Crystal. And then in the Game Boy Advance generation, we had Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald.
We had 5.
Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, and what was it? Black and White?
No.
Fire, Red, Leaf, Green.
We had you're right. But those are remakes. I don't want to. Those aren't new ones. Those are just remakes. I'm not going to count those because those are remakes. Of Red and Blue. I love those games, but they're just remakes. They added some new stuff to them, but
in that case, Gold, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum.
Yeah, and then you had Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Weren't those for the DS?
Yeah, those were
for the DS, and then you had Black and White,
and then
Black and White 2.
And Black and White 2. But I mean, those were kind of like Black and White 2 were kind of like those really should have just been one game, really.
Yeah.
I as being two different games. The Black, White, and Black 2 and White 2.
I know they're technically two different games, but they basically take place in the same place. A lot of the same Pokemon. It's just a continuation of the story, essentially speaking. Yeah, it's a continuation of the story, but it's like this really should have just been in one cart. Was what I'm saying. You know, or they should have, like, I'm pretty sure that Black and White 2, had it come out in the 3DS generation, would have been downloadable content for like $20 or $30 rather than a new game.
Really? Tell that to Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah, I know. It's. I mean, there's a reason that I'm kind of getting disenchanted with how Pokemon has been releasing their shit, because it's like this should have just been like a $20, you know, edition. Like, this shouldn't be a new game for $39. I'm sorry. No. But then in the 3DS generation, you had X and Y, and then you had
Sun and Moon.
I'm not including the re-releases, and you had Sun and Moon. But really, Sun and Moon Ultra better, because they fixed a lot of the issues with Sun and Moon. But I mean, you know, they put games out, motherfucker. That's why they're making money, dumbass. Gabe Newell, yeah, whatever, dude.
You know, I feel like when they're going to make a game, it's if their online infrastructure is beginning to crumble.
Who?
Steam.
Steam.
Steam. I think they make a game when they want to.
Go ahead.
I think they make a game when they want people to get interested in their in Steam again. It's not the online infrastructure, because Steam's online infrastructure is, compared to what it was when Steam first started, it's fucking great. But when the Steam subscriber numbers, like user numbers, start to dip a little bit, they're like, shit, we gotta do something. They come out with a game. Like, they use the games to push people to go on Steam.
Yeah, actually, that's saying that, stating that when their internet structure crumbled, yeah, I think that was a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Yes, I meant if the
install base, the install numbers.
If the user base dwindled.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's actually a pretty smart thing. But think about how, I mean, like, here's the thing: Valve makes so much money. I'm like, why don't you just allocate some of that to put out something? I mean, just something, just anything. I mean, Team Fortress 3. Actually, no, they hate the number 3. Sorry, my stupid ass. Team Fortress Redux. Left 4 Dead Redux. Half-Life Redux.
What about Half-Life 2 Episode 3?
Nah, man. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Look, since Valve doesn't want to do a 3rd episode of Half-Life, here's my idea: make Half-Life an open license, and basically say, what would you guys like to do for Half-Life 3? Give it to a studio, maybe give them a small budget, maybe like a 20-30 million, and make a Half-Life 3.
I was about to say, the moment that you say 3 with him and Steam, I almost expected them to run.
3. Or even better, make a Half-Life spin-off that is like maybe you're not Gordon Freeman, maybe you're someone else, and like make it into an open world game where you explore more, because the Half-Life world is really fun to explore. That was one of the cool things about Half-Life 2, was that you finally got to see the effect of what the experiments that were done in Cyberdyne Industries. It was like, well, shit, this is fucked up.
Well, we got Hunt Down the Freeman, but
that's not that has nothing to do. That just has the name. I mean, actually, like, legitimately official, exploring that world, taking the lore, seeing what's going down, seeing other towns that were decimated by aliens, maybe seeing hidden enclaves where people and the aliens, the refugees from this other world, are living in peace. maybe you have to help defend them. Like that'd be cool, but I mean, you know, this is Valve, so this is, you know,
Yeah.
it's Valve, so you know.
Probably never get to see any game coming out from them.
Yeah, you will never see Half-Life 3. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever. Fucking
Number
ever.
3.
Never. Valve is like, you want more games? Fuck you. You don't need more games.
Dang, man. That is so...
I was about to say, it's a weird contrast. EA publishes one game a year at a minimum, and they do all kinds of BS.
Well, EA publishes like 4 games a year. Like 4 big AAA games a year EA publishes. They do Madden, FIFA, some type of first-person shooter, and then something else, like something that's like ultra casual. So I mean, they're a big publisher, so you know they gotta, you know.
He got Valve and Steam.
They do nothing. They just like Valve basically just provides a platform, and then they turn the valve and money flows from the spigot. And the pun was intended.
Good one there.
But
yeah, some contrast.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything they want to bring up before we wrap things up? Because it got depressing with Valve. Anything uplifting they want to bring up?
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. Something uplifting. I'm checking. Off the Hook. There's an Off the Hook concert at the European Championship. You know, Pearl Marina from Splatoon 2.
That's cool.
How did it turn out?
Well, let's see. The European audience weren't as enthusiastic compared to the Japanese audience.
Yeah, because the Japanese audience likes those fake people. They love that shit. These are the people who, like, one of their top-selling pop singers in Japan is a fake person. It's Hatsune Miku. Which is just weird. The only fake person you could bring back that I'd want to see their concert is Michael Jackson. But that was a real person. So
what about
Michael
Tupac?
Jackson or Prince? What?
Or Tupac.
Yeah, but he's still look, that motherfucker keeps on releasing albums, so he's probably still alive somewhere. That new Tupac album coming out next month, don't you know?
That is some serious stuff, man.
But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. And on that note, let's see. I'll pimp something out. I have spring break all this week, so I'll probably have some content coming out. It's probably going to be just gameplay footage, and I might do some reviews of some of my favorite Godzilla films because I have time to watch them and actually write a review and actually put it into words and then do the video and edit the stuff together, which is really the bitch part because you got to make clips and then put it in there. It's a bit sometimes. But that being said.
Really going to do that back to back?
Well, I've already recorded a lot of gameplay footage of me playing Ni no Kuni because I have it on PC, and it's really easy to just press a button and record. The Godzilla footage is going to be a little bit more difficult, but luckily I got the latest, the 60th edition of the Godzilla Blu-ray collection, and it also comes with a download code where you can get the digital versions of the movies too. So nice. I downloaded those, so it's like I can watch them using my my software, so I can just like rip it that way. So I mean, it's it's my shit. Look, I have 3 versions of the Godzilla Anniversary Collections. I have the Godzilla 50th, both the DVD and Blu-ray versions, the Blu-ray re-release, and I have the 60th edition, which has basically some new behind the scenes stuff, talks about the actors and the special effects and stuff. some bio. It also includes an Akira Ifukube digital download for a lot of his music. So, yeah, I'm a Godzilla fanboy, folks. Okay, I'm a Godzilla fucking fanboy. But that's neither here nor there. And I'm also an audiophile, so like if I watch a Godzilla film and it doesn't have the Godzilla theme, I'm like, you fucked up. That's why the American Godzilla, I like the American Godzilla, but it doesn't have the Godzilla theme. That movie would be so much better if it had the original Godzilla theme in it.
I'm not sure. They got the redesigned Godzilla himself in that one because that Godzilla was too slick.
Well, the 1984 Godzilla didn't have the theme either.
I know, because they had a different composer for it. Like Godzilla versus Biollante, they didn't use Akira Ifukube's music. They used Goichi Wada. No, not Goichi Wada. Kensuke, not Kensuke Tanabe. They used the guy who does the voice for, who does the music for Final Fantasy. No, not Final Fantasy. Dragon Quest. They use the Dragon Quest guy to do the music for it, and you can tell because it just doesn't. What?
Yeah, I was thinking of Dragon Quest, but yeah, you said it before me.
Yeah, the music sounds very Dragon Questy and not Godzilla at all. Like when I watch a Godzilla film, I need to hear that preamble with the stomps and then the roars, because it's like, you know, that's when you know it's your ass. That's how you know shit's about to get real. You know, it's like, oh man, the Japanese military is gonna totally pull it out, and then you hear that boom, boom. It's like, oh shit,
effing world.
You done fucked up now. You know, it's like, you know,
run, brother, run!
You can't even run. You're screwed because Godzilla's coming, and there ain't shit you can do about it, son. Like, really, I like seeing the military get its ass kicked in Godzilla films because they try so hard, and it's like watching a little puppy bite someone's hand and they don't have teeth, but in their head they're like tearing it up, but really it's like you ain't doing shit. That's the Japanese military in Godzilla films. Like, if you see the military win in a Godzilla film, it's not a good Godzilla film because the whole point of Godzilla is that it's like man can't win. He can only endure. You know,
nature. Have fun trying to fight that.
Man can't fight a hurricane, a tornado, an earthquake, a volcano. The only thing you can do is endure and run away, maybe, you know.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's the end of this podcast. We went a little bit over. It was supposed to be from 7:30 to 9. It's now 9:33. We had a 2-hour one. We haven't had a long one like this in a long time. I'm glad everyone could join us. Triple M, Jewel Rider Moonstar, Pinky Don. I'm glad you guys could join us. Could join me on this podcast. Like I said, it's spring break next week for me. So, you know, if you guys want to have anything in the middle of the week or anything, give me a suggestion. We might come up with something. So that's it. I'll have you guys do your sign-offs. Triple M, I know you like to go last, so I'll let you go last. Joel, you want to go first? Jewel.
I think that phone call was for her.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess if she can make it back in time. Okay, Pinky, you want to go?
Guess I'll go first then.
All right.
This is P. Don from Video Game Facts. Be sure to visit that Discuss group where we talk about facts and opinions in the gamosphere. I'm gonna be busy playing Splatoon 2 in preparations for next week's Splatfest, which is baseball versus soccer. I am on Team Soccer since us Hispanics are more passionate about soccer more so than baseball.
You know, even though I'm down here in the Caribbean, I'm going to be one of those few exceptions to say that I'll be going for baseball.
What? I mean, what? You got no love for Sammy Sosa, Alex Rodriguez, El Chapo? Well, actually, not El Chapo.
I tried to get in football. I mean soccer, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, I played soccer for, AKA football. I played soccer for like 6, 7 years, and it's the most boring sport I've ever played. Like I played baseball for like 4 years. I played volleyball for many years. Baseball, soccer is just. I mean, oh god, that game puts me to sleep. Even while I'm playing it, puts me to sleep. I do not get it. Yeah, Jewel, we cannot hear you. Say something. Yeah, we can't hear you.
I think she's still on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, I guess that's just me. Well, this is Triple M, co-host of the BS Busters, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. You'll see us next time. So good night. Auf Wiedersehen. Enjoy. I'm glad we could have another podcast with I mean, I got my old co-host. I got my new co-host. It's great. So with that being said, good night. Enjoy and peace.